Do you know what a vulva is?
It's either like a fruit or something in the vagina.
Sounds like a vibrator, am I correct?
No.
Damn.
It's in your neck.
A what?
It's time to address the elephant in the bedroom. While all of us want, need, and enjoy pleasure, the undeniable reality is that women around the world are less sexually satisfied than their male partners. But after years of brushing the pleasure gap under the rug, we're finally shaking the stigma and making room for a more honest, unfiltered, and equal sex conversation. Welcome to the Pleasure Revolution. To learn more about the pleasure gap, we sat down with Georgia Grace, a renowned sex educator and somatic sexologist.
The pleasure gap is essentially looking at the disparity between orgasms and how they're experienced with cisgendered men and cisgendered women within a heterosexual relationship. And statistically, we're seeing that more cis men or people with penises are experiencing orgasm more often, and women or people with vulvas are experiencing orgasm less. And as a result, lots of cis women or people with vulvas are disillusioned by the sex that they're having. And in recent years, with this research, we've found that actually there are different ways that you can access pleasure.
Two people bridging the pleasure gap in their own relationship are Jen and Scott, a couple that has experienced the benefits of open sex communication firsthand.
So we met on OkCupid, which is a dating site. It's a really great place for really nice consensual conversations about sex, and it's just a nice place.
I feel like there's been times where we've maybe gone through a little, quiet
Lull.
spell, a little lull. And we've definitely talked about the impact that has on our dynamic because it is quite an important part of our relationship.
Yeah, but there's never been this real kind of imbalance of me feeling like I'm not getting what I want, or I'm hoping you don't feel that way. I think it's maybe a bit more common now, but if you've been in a relationship for 5, 10, 15 years and you have kept quiet for all this time, I think it's hard for you to be like, actually,
0 to 100.
Side, right?
Culture is embracing more candid sex talk both online and offline. On social media, there are over 156,000 Instagram posts with the hashtag sexology, while hashtag clitorit has amassed over 1 million views on TikTok. Movies and TV shows are also moving past male-centric sex scenes and beginning to normalise portrayals of female pleasure. And finally, even mainstream retailers like Target, Nordstrom, and Walmart are investing in sex wellness, repositioning sex products as self-care products.
It has been really interesting to see how social media is changing how we normalise these conversations. People are holding up toys and speaking about what they want to do with them. They're becoming memes. We are changing the way that we see masturbation. I think research is also really useful in that now that we have a lot more research on what the clitoris actually is and how to stimulate it. I think it's really common to speak about the benefits of masturbation. But I kind of want to move away from proving why you should do it and just sort of celebrating the fact that you're a human being with a body that has a lot of erectile tissue and sensitive areas and erogenous zones. Why are we so averse to pleasure? Why can't we just enjoy our bodies?
So even when I was still kind of deep into my kind of Christian, don't talk about masturbation, it was one of my friends who still has not had sex who talked so openly about masturbation that I was really taken aback by it. I think that there is this real conversation about taking your own pleasure.
Yeah, the conversation feels a lot more centered around individuals
Taking.
owning their own pleasure, which is great. But there doesn't seem like there's as much conversation about people in relationships, sort of reaching that pleasure together.
When we don't speak about sex openly and the potential of what sex can look like and feel like for a range of bodies, people don't feel normal. They feel wrong. They feel shame. They feel guilty when they engage in pleasure. So as a result, not having conversations around sex can have long-term and long-lasting impacts on how people feel in their bodies. So since all of this research has emerged around the pleasure or the orgasm gap, we have started to reprioritize how we understand sex, to bring the clit into the game, to see that oral sex or going down on someone or using toys is just as an important part of partnered sex as penetration. And I'm really lucky to see it firsthand when I host workshops, and there are spaces for people to ask questions and to share and hear from other perspectives and hear what people enjoy that might be so far from what they're into, but it's really interesting and useful for them to learn about these perspectives. It is really exciting to see that all of the changes that are taking place. Even in the past 10 years, I think it's radically transformed how we're understanding sex, but also what we're expecting of sexual partners.
With more open communication will come a new era of sex positivity, one where we can all experience pleasure equally and without shame.